Hello, this is Danny Raymond, the voice behind Ray's Guide, and now that we have had several weeks of Siege of Orison behind us, some prominent streamers, such as Level Cap Gaming, The Eradicator, and Chisman Kate, have started to make videos pointing out some of the deficiencies of the event. Deficiencies that I have also seen. But rather than simply join the chorus, I want to specifically talk in detail about how I would make it better, as it's part of my philosophy about this channel is never to simply complain. But before that, I'd also like to do the other thing that I try to be known for, telling you the things you don't want to hear.
Get used to disappointment.
And that is this little bit of expectation setting. At any time in the arc of technological advancement, the most sophisticated MMO will never equal the experience of the most sophisticated match-based multiplayer experience. By match-based multiplayer, I mean games in the Call of Duty, Battlefield, Destiny, Titanfall, PUBG, etc. series, and the difference is in the role of the server. In match-based multiplayer games, the server sets up the game, but once started, the server is mostly a spectator, serving as scorekeeper and cheat detector, while the actual simulation is mostly done with peer-to-peer multicasting. And once the match is over, almost nothing has to be persisted. On the other hand, in an MMO, the server is the arbiter of everything and the persistence minder of everything, not just in the event space, but in the entire game world. So if your benchmark is, for example, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Star Citizen is never going to quite measure up. All that persistence and seamless galactic scope has its burden. So what are the important things I think should be improved in Siege of Orison? First of all, of course, the times that the event simply bugs out or cannot be completed, either because a lieutenant doesn't spawn or the final location does not populate, needs to be fixed. But that's obvious. Apart from that, the general problems. First, it is fun if you are part of the first assault, but if you are not part of the first assault, either because you were even a little late arriving, or because you were forced by bug or unrecoverable death to return to the start, it is almost impossible to catch up with that first assault. The reason is that the first assault is fast and big enough to sweep through the opponents, but the late arrivals arrive to find the opposition respawned, and now they have to work their way through the same opposition, either solo or in a small group, while in some cases hoping to do a corpse recovery. Second, there is a boring consistency to the level of opposition. There are no really tough spots. There are just a number of spawn points that on a regular basis pop forth the same half dozen or so mix that would be in a bunker mission spawn, and then they behave like they were in a bunker mission spawn. And there is no place where they have dug in and defended, even though there are strategic fixed locations that they would defend. They would defend the locations of the IFFI devices. They would defend access to the ships. They would defend their command points. They would defend their leader. Also, a good mission scenario includes tactical variety between situations where you need to attack an objective and situations where you need to defend an objective, even if just for a short while. This is just attack, 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 which also adds to the inability to catch up to the front lines. The front line is advancing faster than you can. It is also hard to do event-wide coordination. The global chat channel is too broad and the party chat channel is too narrow. There needs to be a chat channel for everyone who has accepted the mission. And to be honest, I've made this same suggestion about every other event. I've made it about Xenothreat, I've made it about NineTails Lockdown, and I've made it about Jumptown. This just isn't an improvement needed for Siege. It is an improvement needed for system events, period. Fourth, and then there's the fact that since the levels were designed for PvE combat, it is too easy for PvP players to do what are typically considered griefing tactics, specifically what feels like spawn camping, even though it isn't technically spawn camping. In addition, in the hectic mess of battle, it is too easy and too quick to get a Friendly Fire Crimestat. For Xenothreat, there was added the ability to have a brief single hit to result in forgiveness, so something along those lines is needed. But for the unrepented turncoat, there needs to be a system that makes it easy to identify and handle that. But more than that, there needs to be a way for those that want to play the Ninetails Side to do so in a way that isn't going to be regarded as an exploitation or griefing. So now on to the specifics, and I want to start with something about the attitude of the revised event. I don't want, let's call it Siege 1.1, to feel like CIG went back to the drawing board. I want it to feel like Mendo Ren went back to the drawing board. I want it to feel like Mendo Ren woke up at Grimhex medbed cursing and saying, "Well, I won't make that mistake again." And to a lesser extent, I also wanted to feel like Agent Dooley at the last staff meeting said, "Okay, everyone, ideas are how to do this better next time." And even to the extent that Dooley's or Wren's voiceovers have to be re-recorded, make it sound like the two of them have a genuine personal grudge against each other from their history. So let's start about a half hour before the real start of the event. Just like Xenothreat, Siege needs to have a warning time to let people know to get to the event start. There's a natural way to explain this. The scenario says that the CDF had to manage to somehow get a shuttle set up. Let's presume that Dooley starts sending a message saying, "Something's going on at the admin center and nearby platforms. We're working to somehow getting people over there, and I'm told it's going to take 30 minutes until they are able to have it set up. So get over to the roof now." And then again have it repeat with 15 or 5 or 2 minutes. Meanwhile, on the public side of Orison, the PA system is assuring everyone that everything is okay and under control, and there's no reason to be alarmed. Don't panic. Don't panic. The contrast between the public messages and Dooley's increasingly urgent call to action can be humorous. Meanwhile, anyone with a Crimestat or positive Ninetails reputation will be getting requests to help with the siege from the Ninetails side. If accepted, they will go to Grim Hex, where there will be a cutlass making a continuous loop between Grim Hex and the admin center. The door to the flight crew area on the cutlass will be locked, so it will actually be essentially like an automated shuttle. The NPC cutlass will be tweaked to make the trip to the admin platform much quicker than normal, slightly longer than the time it takes the Skytram to get from Cloudview to there. This will likely put the Ninetails aligned players at the admin platform well ahead of the CDF players, but then can then use that time to move boxes and stuff around and to set up themselves as dug-in defenses. So, the overall scope of the event will be the first 3 platforms, Solanke, Heartmoor, and Brushwood, being PvE. Admin platform is PvE plus PvP, and the barge is PvE plus any PvP players that have retreated to it. This will make the admin center a possibly much tougher challenge, particularly if the PvP players have used their time to have prepared well. But because the admin center is only approached from the air, it won't be possible to camp the arrival point, because everywhere is a possible arrival point. As to the first 3 platforms, the IFFI devices are not in random locations. They are on the rooftops, as in every rooftop of a tall building on the platform has an IFFI device. And to shut them down for a particular platform, they must all be deactivated within 30 seconds of each other, or they will auto-reboot each other. So the CDF players will have to coordinate each other in simultaneous raids on each tower, and whoever takes their rooftop earlier must have to be able to defend it until the others are ready as well. And the rooftops will have more, tougher, and more frequent respawns of the Ninetails because the Ninetails have learned their strategic importance. So they will be difficult to hold. Also, the rooftops, not some random location, will be the location of the lieutenants. So the process of taking a platform won't just be one big blitz of the front lines. It will require multiple coordinated attacks and defending points. However, once Solanke is shut down, Solanke is completely shut down. The spawn stops spawning, and the shuttle from Cloudview switches from going to Solanke to going to Brushwood. This will go a long way to making it possible for late arrivals and respawners to catch up with the front lines. Now, the presence of an official NineTails mission with financial and reputation rewards will make being a turncoat less attractive, but some will try it, and there needs to be some better manner of handling Crimestat in Siege, both intentional and accidental. The first and easiest thing to help would be to extend the decision timer on pressing charges. I would also consider changing the wording of the prompt, since for the new player, it can be unclear. Are you approving giving the Crimestat, or are you approving that it was okay to have them hit you? Anyways, the decision time should be long enough that if the person wants to take time to apologize and perhaps heal you to make good on it, you have time to consider their post-actions. And frankly, while they're at it, a lot of other approval timers, either to accept a friends list invitation or a party invite, those could use to be longer too. But if the turncoat is genuine, Agent Dooley's response should be more decisive. A bounty mission should be automatically generated and given to every player within the CDF mission, even if they aren't bounty hunter qualified to get bounty hunter missions. There should also perhaps be an audio alert from Dooley about the presence of a turncoat on a particular platform. And that is how I see, let's call it Siege of Orison, Wren's Revenge working. Improving communication is something Dooley would want to do. Making IFFI devices redundant is something Wren would want to do. Having them be better defended is something Wren would want to do. Pulling in more local criminals and allies is something Wren would want to do. Getting reinforcements back to battle lines faster is something Dooley would want to do. And if this is a living, breathing universe, then the prior occurrences of Siege of Orison have happened and would have them having a grudge against each other. And now for an update on our Grow the Channel Ship giveaway. As of recording, we're at 82% of the subscriber goal and 75% of the membership goal to give away to some lucky player their choice of the Anvil Liberator, the ship-shipping ship for shipping your ships, or the Misk Odyssey long-length look-ahead launcher lorry. One entry per video. Members are entered automatically if the winner is a member. As of the publication date of the winning video and at the time of the drawing, they will win both the Liberator and the Odyssey. For non-members, just subscribe and comment with the secret word. And the secret word for this video is what I thought there should sound like there is between Wren and Dooley have between them. Fly safe, keep it real, and I'll see you in the verse. This is Daniel Raymond for Ray's Guide.